All eyes on the Supreme Court today. Oral arguments begin over the constitutionality of a Mississippi law banning most abortions after 15 weeks. The case could threaten the nearly 50-year legal precedent of Roe v. Wade and upend abortion rights in this country.
Joining us now is Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves. Welcome back to GMA3, Governor. I want to go to a recent tweet that you just put out there saying this case is one of the most consequential pro-life legal battles ever. I'm curious, was this the original intent when back in 2018 as Lieutenant Governor you helped pass this law that you would ultimately end up in the Supreme Court challenging Roe v. Wade?
Well, Amy, thank you for having me on the show, and it's always good to be with you and TJ. And to be honest with you, the original intent when we worked to pass this 15-week ban in the Mississippi legislature was to protect unborn children. We knew that we would have a fight on our hands. We knew that, and as is often the case, that there is litigation that goes along with virtually every piece of pro-life legislation, and this is certainly a historic day.
Why 15 weeks, Governor? Are you someone, you say you're pro-life, but are you someone who would like to see abortion outlawed in this country completely?
I believe very strongly, TJ, that abortion kills an innocent unborn child. And yes, it would be my ultimate goal that Roe versus Wade would be overturned and that we wouldn't have abortions in this country. When you talk about why 15 weeks, the answer to that is over the last 30 years since Casey was decided, and certainly over the last 50 years since Roe, the science has changed. The science has changed because technology has gotten so much better. When Roe was originally decided, we didn't have sonograms. When Roe was originally decided, we didn't have ultrasounds. And every single time the science changes, the technology improves, and we learn more. Every single time that happens, we learn more, and it comes down on the side of protecting the life of that unborn child. 15 weeks is important in this instance because at 15 weeks, we know that that baby has a heartbeat. We know that that baby is pumping multiple quarts of blood each day. We know that the lungs are forming. We know that the baby can actually move and can actually open and close its hands. And also, we know that that baby can experience pain.
Governor, I want to get your reaction to the results of our ABC News Washington Post poll. We found that 60% of Americans say the court should uphold Roe v. Wade. 58% oppose state legislation making it harder for abortion clinics to operate. And 75% say the decision to have an abortion should be left to the woman and her doctor, not regulated by law. What do you make of those results?
I've actually seen a Gallup poll, which I think we can all agree is not a right-wing polling organization, in which only 18% of Democrats believe that abortion should be allowable in the third trimester. And in fact, only 41% of all Americans think that any abortions should be allowed after the first trimester. The fact is, when you look at political opinion across this country, I believe while Casey tilted the scales towards the abortion on demand movement, this is an opportunity in Dobbs, in the Mississippi case, to tilt the scales back towards those who believe in life.
I want to go to your point here about something when life begins. The scientific community, many will argue, that is not something that even science can really decide. That is not really something we can know for sure scientifically. That's more of a moral and a religious argument. So I want to ask you the question more on a moral, religious, and personal place here. How often do you get a chance to, and how many times have you had a conversation with a woman who had to make the difficult decision whether or not she was going to terminate a pregnancy?
Well, I will just be very clear to you, TJ. I believe life begins at conception, and I believe that is the fundamental underlying belief that I have, and that many in the movement to protect life believe. I've had the occasion to talk to individual women who have had to make that decision. I have talked to those who have made the decision to have an abortion that have regretted that decision, and I have talked to those who went to a clinic and ultimately made the decision to have that child and were very pleased in their decision. The reality is, we know for a fact that there are a lot of people across America that are hurting. There are a lot of people across America that have to make difficult decisions. And I just want to make sure everyone in America understands that when making this decision, which is a decision that some would argue is the individual body of the person that is making the decision to get the abortion. I just want everyone to understand that we believe strongly that there's an innocent unborn child in that womb, and that unborn child cannot stand up for itself. So people like me and others across this nation, it is incumbent upon us to stand up for those unborn children who cannot stand up for themselves.
Governor, the Mississippi law does make exceptions to the 15 weeks. Medical emergencies or a severe fetal abnormality. Rape and incest are not exceptions, notably, in this law. Do you believe a woman should be forced to carry a child if she was raped?
Well, under the law that passed the Mississippi legislature that I helped push through the legislature, if a woman were to be raped or in the case of incest, they would have the opportunity prior to 15 weeks to have that abortion. The exceptions that are in after 15 weeks, in my personal view, those are medical decisions that need to be made between the physicians that are treating that particular lady, and so I think that's a decision that we can't make because it's on a case-by-case basis.
Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank y'all.
All right. Look, it's an important. The debate will never go anywhere, and it's just we're impassioned on both sides. If we can still just sit calmly and have conversations, that would be great. A great place to go. But all eyes on the Supreme Court today.
Yeah, certainly indeed.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.